Welcome to this year's ITAP, again as a hybrid event. So I'm happy to welcome you here from our Siemens office in Singapore at McPherson Road. My name is Alex and I'm the head for the vertical management in the F&B industry across ASEAN. And I want to talk to you about decarbonization in the F&B industry. Decarbonization is a big topic, and I think we all can contribute in a professional and also in a private way. But I think also the F&B and the FMC industry can play a big role in making this world a more greener and a more sustainable place. The topic is really important, and this is also what you see here. The United Nations, they defined sustainable development goals. And within these sustainable development goals, we had a look and we wanted to know where we as Siemens and also where our customers can contribute their part. And you see in the high impact chapter, there is one goal, which is climate action. And it calls climate action. This means we have to take action. And this is also what we want to do. We want to contribute as Siemens. We want to help our customers. We want to help the F&B industry to contribute to achieve this goal. We want to contribute with our products and solutions. We also want to contribute with leading by example, that we do what we are telling. And we also don't want to look on this only on a very, very focused way. We want to look across the complete value chain, that this is a holistic approach. And last but not least, we also want to be part of this citizenship and the community engagement. This is what our goal is. This is the goal of Siemens. We want to be carbon neutral until 2030. This is a really, really tough goal. And to achieve it, we have to define the right measures. Therefore, it's also important to first know where are we. This is what you see 2014. So we have this goal since 2014. And this is where we did the as-is analysis. And now you see in 2021, we achieved already more than 50% decrease of our carbon footprint. So there are some components what we're using to achieve this. So for us, it's purchasing green energy, know where the energy is coming from. Is it renewable energy, like wind energy, for example? Then we also figured out that our fleet has a big impact. So we utilize the potential of low emission cars, and we are transforming towards electric mobility. And then we have several energy efficiency programs in place, and we leverage also distributed energy systems because we think energy should be produced where it's needed to avoid all this long transforming ways. Looking now at the food and beverage environment and the complete ecosystem. In food and beverage, like I said, it's an ecosystem. So we have different aspects which are influencing the complete industry. We have first, of course, us as the consumer. We have changing requirements. We want to go for more flexible, more individualized food and beverages. We also want to have a transparent and secure supply chain. I think this pandemic showed us this really, really on the hard way, that supply chains are sometimes not that reliable like we think they are. And then we also have the environmental impact, the carbon footprint, the waste what we are producing, how our facilities are working. These are not only topics we talk about because we want to show a goodwill that we do something for the sustainability, for decarbonate. These are topics where are also pure costs behind. Every waste what we produce costs money, because it sounds strange, but also waste first is produced as an item before it becomes waste. And then even worse, you have to pay normally money for the waste, for the disposal. And now if we take this entire ecosystem and put in the last aspect, which you see in the upper left corner, digital technologies. These are actually our weapons. This is our approach to address these topics. Many of these topics are not new. I think the environmental impact, we are discussing these topics at least since the 70s or 80s. The consumer standing in the middle, this is a thing which is since we do food and beverage. And also the supply chains, this is nothing new. But I think the weapons are much more powerful if I look to cloud and edge, for example, or utilizing artificial intelligence. And there it starts. We need to save energy. We need to reduce waste. And first, I want to give you just a short overview that we are not only talking about this and not only doing this for ourselves, like I've shown you on my first slides. We already have big customers who are doing this with us together in a partnership. And this is important. We do this in a partnership because what I've shown you for our own facilities, for our own carbon footprint, this is customized to our needs at Siemens. So we identified that our fleet has a big impact on our carbon footprint. But this might look different at your carbon footprint. So the decarbonization to drive sustainability is also a quite individual and customized topic. And that's why we need to work in a partnership. This is nothing where we just sell you a product and then it works. No, it is a collaboration together. And here you see, for example, Ritter Sport. This is a German chocolate producer. I think you also know it. At every airport here around Asia, you can buy Ritter Sport. These are these squared chocolate bars, very nice chocolate. So they reduce their energy consumption about 15%. And then you see also Coca-Cola. They did really immense savings in energy. And this is important. And you see it here. You see certified ISO 50001 solution. This is now nothing because of the certification you will save the energy, but you can do it in a standardized way. And standardization is a topic which is not only important now for the decarbonization, but also here, it is a topic you need to take care of. Because if you don't have a standardized approach, then you cannot compare. You cannot compare between factories, and you also cannot compare from your as-is analysis and values and figures and your current values and figures. Because if you don't do this in a standardized way, you don't know if the as-is analysis, which was done maybe back in 2014, is dealing with the same standard figures like you're dealing today. So standardization is a very, very important thing. And this is where we as Siemens always say we don't develop our own standards. We go on the big standards, on the big global standards. And for energy management, it is ISO 50001. And this is how it looks like. I've shown you our carbon footprint composition with our facilities, with our energy and electricity consumption, with our fleet. So this is the starting point. So you can also transfer this thought to your household. I think also everybody wants to save some energy in the household because it costs money. It costs money for electricity. You pay money for your water, and you also pay money for your waste. So if you want to reduce it, you first have to know where you use your electricity. How much electricity you use per month, this you know, because you get it every month with your bill. The waste is a little bit more different because you have to pay upfront, or your landlord is paying that. That you say, okay, I on average produce that amount of waste. So, but if you don't have really the idea what your waste composition is, and you out of that you generate ideas how much waste you can save, you cannot say to the recycling company, oh, I need a smaller garbage can. So you need to know where you produce it. And coming back to the electricity, in my household, I know where I use most of the electricity. It's the aircon. I think most of us here in these regions, most of the electricity we are using for the aircon. But this is just a little bit a gut feeling. And this is because my household is by far not that complex like an industrial production area is. Maybe you say, okay, these big compressors, yes, they use a lot of electricity, but this is definitely not a complete picture. You need to know where you use the electricity. And this is where we start. We start on the bottom with the field devices, that you measure what is using electricity, what is using steamed air, compressed air, what is using water. You have to know this. You also need to know how your waste composition is. Is it broken glass at the point where the filler is? Is it broken glass at the packaging? If you don't have any system to capture this information, you cannot improve it. And then you need a layer, what you see here on the green layer, where you see the PLC, you see edge computing. This is where then this data is processed. So you process the data, and then in a higher level, where you see now the energy transparency, this is where you analyze the data. So you get a comprehensive analytics. What is your waste composition? Where do you use the energy? Where is all the water going you are paying for? And then you first create awareness, but actually you don't stop at awareness. Then it comes to where we begin, climate action. Then it goes towards the actions that you say, okay, I know now that at this point at the conveyor belt, I always produce a lot of waste. So I have to have a focus on that. I have to have a detailed view on that, and then define measures how less glass can broke there. Or you figure out that a motor is running while there's no production. This is a little bit like if an aircon is running in your home when nobody's in the room. But you need to know that. You need to lay all these values over each other to come to smart and clever conclusions how you can drive the decarbonization. And like I said, it's climate action. So if we define now the right measures, then I think we all can contribute a lot. And at the end of the day, not only make this a greener place, but also save a lot of costs for electricity, water, and waste. So I just want to invite you to talk to us, and that we come together into a partnership and talk about decarbonization. And then let's decarbonate now. Thank you very much.